Good evening and welcome to Leicester Square Television. I'm Claire Bueno, and what a location we have for you here at the Chamber of Museum in the heart of London's South Bank. And what a perfect place to bring you a Dickensian evening. So sit back, relax and watch the curtain rise for David Copperfield.
Don't do that. My bless my heart. You are a very baby.
Okay, Adam, now you've got a very important part because you're not only the producer, but you pretty much pioneered this, didn't you?
Yeah, it was about 5 months ago. I was introduced to Marcus, who's a representative here at the museum, and he showed me the space, and he told me that it was only being used for corporate functions, and that was just a sin, basically. It was too beautiful a space, a 220-seat amphitheatre that was there to be utilised and essentially untapped. They have brought a few things in the past, but they haven't brought anything that's really sort of had the longevity to sort of maybe stand the test of time and run for a couple of weeks, let alone a couple of months. And I thought, go for it. And I did, and I've just thrown everything at it. It was at the point in my life where the monotony of being an actor, essentially, which is what my own personal craft is, was just so few and far between that I needed to sort of, get the juices flowing again and then take on a project of creativity. And it just seemed ideal. And then I went away for a week and I thought, what can I bring into that space? Dickens at Christmas on the South Bank in Tourism Central. And it's a fantastic play. I watched it a couple of years ago and I just thought, that's perfect. Because it demanded an epic. You couldn't just do sort of like a two-hander. Well, you could, but essentially it would have to be something pretty special to sort of complement the room. Otherwise, the room would drown out the actual performance. And David Copperfield, as we all know, is an epic. The book itself is something like 48 characters in it or something. And so yeah, we've chopped and hammered it to pieces and created a piece that I think everybody's really proud of. So
when you met the screen adapter, God, get me words out, it's cold in here, had the script already been written?
Yes,
oh, it had.
Yeah, it's a writer called Giles, Havergal, who actually created the piece. And the script itself, because of the nature of the room, it's an amphitheatre, it's done in the round. You can't have massive, elaborate set changes or anything like that. So the script really lent itself to the room in the sense that every scene chops and changes so quickly. People are on and off and changing into other characters. And you wouldn't have time to do set changes. And so the play itself was actually sort of written for that, simplicity, allowing the audience to suspend their disbelief and run with it.
How did you even get started? You said that you found the place first.
Yeah.
Then did you find the script, or how did it all work? How did it all come into play?
Well, it just I found the space. It was brainstorming. What do I know that I could bring into the space? And like I say, I saw it at a college production a couple of years back and thought that was ideal. And then from there, I had to consider, you know, how I was going to go about doing that. So I applied for funding left, right, and centre. And I mean, I essentially started with nothing. And just it has just been an uphill struggle to get it to this position, in the sense that the world fell apart, the credit crunch, and we didn't receive funding from anybody. So it's been a sort of collaborative effort between friends and family, and of course the crew that I've taken on. I mean, none of this could have happened if it wasn't for Michael Armstrong, Pete Armstrong, his father, who essentially started off as my production managers and ended up being the set designers, the crew. You know, they are so, I mean, I basically said to him, here's nothing, and he came back and built me a skyscraper. You know, pulled a rabbit out of a thimble is the way I'd describe those guys, just superheroes. And then there's Sam Donovan, my director, who essentially, I've seen his work in the past, and I just knew that he was capable. And essentially, he's an unheard of director. He hasn't massive amounts of experience, but I do have faith in his talents from what he has produced in the past. And with him came an associate producer, Nick Rogers, who, as a pair, they've worked together for the last few years and actually have their own company, Performers Limited. And they brought their previous experience to the table, which was something I had none of. I have to admit, I wasn't prepared for this. I had no idea just how much it took. And I think for the first few months, there was probably a little bit too much talking and less action taking place. And when these guys came in, they pointed out how much we needed to do and how much, you know, how far away we was from the final product. And they got us there. I mean, those guys really got us there. I've got Davin, who's just volunteered his time, and he's come on board. You know, just volunteer as a volunteer, and then you just can't deny that sort of support and faith in a production, really. And without those people, it just couldn't have happened.
The thing as well that's nice, what you're doing is you're trying to get theatre back out to the general public.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, I mean, it is one of those industries where you can't fault theatre if it's good. You can't fault it. I mean, you can feel the energy as an audience member right at the back of the room if the actor really, really can hold it and contain those moments and project them out from within. And it is a dying trade. And, you know, my intention was to sort of come through this, but possibly as a phoenix from the ashes. I think where we've landed is, you know, the venue itself always wanted to promote itself as the bridge between Fringe and West End. And the venue itself will do that from this. I think what we have is a really fantastic Fringe production. You know, we always said, aim for the sky, you might just hit the clouds. And we're really proud of this. This is special.
And how long is it running for? Can you tell us a bit more
Well,
about that?
we set out, we have the venue available until the end of January with the possibility of an extension. Now, due to the fact that investors sort of reneged left, right and centre as the world fell apart, we are just playing it week by week. At the moment, we're definitely going to be running for sort of 3 weeks with the possibility of maybe taking a small break and coming back in January. All that is basically done on a, let's see how ticket sales go, let's see how the reviews are. And yeah, basically the cast have been fantastic as well. I mean, everybody set out to do a 9-week run, and everybody was disappointed when the realism kicked in that we just, you know, weren't able to get there. But the cast dealt with it in the sense, in a way that I'm just so grateful for, really. They just all took it on the chin and said, well, let's crack on and let's see how far we get with it. And everybody's taken that attitude on, and I'm so grateful for it, really, because it just goes to show how much people really care about theatre in London. And you know, the turnout has been sort of gradually building. Every day the ticket sales seem to be improving, hits on the site are improving. People are interested in theatre still, and it's really important to keep pushing and pushing and fighting for what's essentially very underfunded industry, considering the amount of work that's put in and how much it is appreciated by people.